அந்த பாக்கெட்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு துணி மாதிரி தெரியுது அந்த சைடில்.
We also had a very successful women's team. The only ground in Australia that doesn't use dropping wickets. So that's
ப்ரெஸ் கான்ஃபரன்ஸில் இங்கே தான் முடிஞ்ச பேசுவாங்களாம். செம்ம ப்ளீஸியாக இருக்குல்ல பெவிலியன். ப்ரௌன் சீட்ஸில் வந்து ஒன்லி மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் உட்கார முடியும். ஹோம் டீமோட என்ன வியூ பாருங்கள். ட்ரெயின் லாரா
rooms, cigar rooms and business rooms.
உட்கார இடம். ஸோ இந்த இடத்துல கம்பெனி ஹலோ எவ்ரிவான், எல்லோரும் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? இன்றைக்கி என்ன பிளான்னா, இன்றைக்கி வந்து சிட்னி கிரிக்கெட் கிரவுண்ட் டூருக்காக வந்திருக்கேன். ஸோ கிரவுண்ட் பக்கத்தில் வந்த சிட்னி கிரிக்கெட் கிரவுண்டோட வெளியே தான் இருக்கேன். இப்போது கேட் ஏன் தான் போட்டிருக்காங்கல்ல. ஸோ முன்னாடி போகணும். ஆக்சுவலாக நாங்கள் கொஞ்சம் லேட்டாக வரும். 2 o'clock ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது டூரு. 15 minutes early வர சொன்னாங்க. நாங்கள் கொஞ்சம் லேட் ஆகிடுச்சு. கரெக்டாக 2 o'clock ஆகுது. இப்போ பார்ப்போம் உள்ளே விடுறானுங்களா இல்லை எதுனா பேசுகிறானுங்களா. இந்த ஏரியாலாம் சூப்பராக இருக்கு. ஆனால் மேட்ச் நடக்கும்போது பயங்கரமாக இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். கேட்டே வந்துட்டோம். இங்கே தான் உள்ளே போகணும். என்ட்ரின்னு போட்டிருக்காங்க. SCG டூர்ஸ் மீட்டிங் பாயிண்ட். நிற்கிறாரு பார்க்குறேன். SCG மியூசியம். Can I use camera? Vijay.
I'm just starting just now.
No worries, no worries. Thanks.
Just about to head off. And did you see Steve Waugh's lucky hanky, as it's called over here? It's actually a piece of old towel. The first time he used that, he was batting in the north of England for Australia. It was about 60 not out, unusually hot day. Perspiration running down his face. He called out to the 12th man, "Bring me something for my face." And the 12th man looked around the change room and all he could find was a dirty old red towel in the corner. So he cut off the cleanest part of the towel, ran it out to Steve, he wiped his face, shoved it in his pocket, and he got 100 that day. At the end of the day he got it out and went, my lucky charm. And it stayed with him for every game after that. Just funny, if he hadn't got 100 that day, where do you think it would have ended up? In the rubbish bin. But he did get 100, and now it's in the museum. We take photos of it. That's history, isn't it? Very fine margins sometimes. So the reason I want to point that out is you're going to see a statue of Steve Waugh, and I want you to find the hanky in the statue, having seen the real thing now. If there are no questions, we might get going there. It's a 90-minute tour, so we should finish at 3:30.
ஸோ உள்ளே வந்துட்டோம். எங்களுக்காக தான் வெயிட் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. லேடிஸ் பெவிலியன். வெல்கம் பேக் டு ஹிம். பட் ஸ்டீவோட ஸ்டாச்சு ஒரு 100 ஸ்டீவ் அடித்த 100 பற்றி பேசிகிட்டு இருந்தாங்க நாங்கள் உள்ளே போகும்போது. அந்த பாக்கெட்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு துணி மாதிரி தெரியுது அந்த சைடில். அதுதான் அந்த டவல். அது நான் திருப்பி காமிக்கிறேன். அந்த டவலை அது வச்சதுனால தான் அவர் 100 எடுத்தாருன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த டவலை வச்சு ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்திருக்காங்க. பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது மெம்பர்ஸ் பவிலியன்.
Contained any of its original buildings from the 19th century. So the original building, well, actually it's not the original building. The first Members Pavilion was actually built where that one is in the 1870s, but it's burnt down. It was the original ashes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
And then they built this Members Pavilion to replace it in 1886. Now that is the oldest cricket pavilion in the world.
Okay.
Still being
Wow.
continuous first class.
Oldest cricket pavilion. Members Pavilion.
3 years we say is a very long time. So 1886, and then in 1896 they built the ladies' pavilion. As the name suggests, back in those days, all the men sat over here and all the ladies sat over there. Sounds like the perfect day out, doesn't it? And men and women sit on both sides.
Yeah.
We just keep the old names for historic reasons. So these are our signatures. The green roofs, the 19th century architecture, and the whole ground has been made proportionally to that. So we're not as big as Melbourne. Melbourne's like a coliseum, but these stands would look very silly if we built everything up really big. So our capacity is 48,000, half the size of Melbourne, twice as big. That's what we say. And you've walked into a very historic area here. This is where the members come in, and we have what we call the Walk of Honour along here. And sprinkled around here we have statues and plaques celebrating not just cricketers, footballers, athletes, males and females, who've either had a moment of brilliance here or a career of brilliance. What they all have in common, they're all from New South Wales. We are very parochial in Australia. We all love Warnie, but Warnie's from Melbourne. Because tend to focus on the male teams more than the female teams. And we've been guilty of that here as well. Yes, men did play here first in 1854, but women started playing cricket here in 1886. It's a long history. It's only 2 years ago that we finally did something to celebrate a female cricketer. So we're a bit slow in the uptake, but we're ahead of everybody else. Belinda Clark is the only female cricketer to have a statue anywhere in the world. There are about 80 male cricketer statues around the world, but not a single woman. Some have got gates and some have got roads and doors, but no one's actually had a sculpture dedicated to them till Belinda Clark. So we're trying to change the world, one sculpture at a time. But I don't want you to think we've done this just to even up the score. When Steve was captain of Australia, late 90s, early 2000s, we also had a very successful women's team, captained by Belinda at the same time. Like I say, she's worthy of her spot.
இவங்க இந்த பெலிண்டா கிளாக் இவங்க தான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிளேயர் இன்டர்நேஷ்னல் பிளேயர் to score a double 100.
Australia and England will be here next January to do the same. And these turf wickets are prepared exactly the same as the middle. So what you get out there, you can prepare for here, because we're the only ground in Australia that doesn't use drop-in wickets. All the other grounds dig up their centre square after the football season and drop new fresh wickets in. We don't. We let the footballers run all over it and then repair the damage. One reason being, we only have one club that plays here, not four like Melbourne does. So we don't have that much traffic. Secondly, our test match is the last test match, January. We have a lot more time. And if the Swans don't make the finals, we have a real lot of time to get it all. We'll talk more about that later on, but no drop-in wickets here. And so these wickets are prepared exactly the same as the centre. So you get used to the bounce and the turn. I don't know if you know, traditionally the SCG is a spinner. It gets to day 4 and 5, it'll turn square. If you're a bowler who gives it a real rip and throw the ball up, you might have seen Warnie bowl people like Chanderpaul from the West Indies when he's landed the ball 1.5 meters outside the off stump and comes in and hits his leg stump. Left-hander, amazing. And the soil that they use in these pitches called bulleye soil, that's what helps that happen. And we don't want to give that up in a drop-in tray. The bulleye soil, as it gets dry, it doesn't crumble, it cracks and gets very abrasive on the surface. So if you give the ball a rip, you'll get a lot of purchase off that surface. The fast bowlers will be productive in the first few days, nice bounce, bit of a swing. Then the spinners will take over. Not traditional, not always, but traditional. So who do you think's got the most wickets here in Test cricket? Shane Warne. Another spinner, Stuart McGill, has the most fifers in a Test innings, and another spinner, Anil Kumble, has the most wickets of a visiting bowler in modern times. So generally the spinners will win it for you. But this guy is definitely not a spinner. His nickname is the Demon. Now I think people like Mitchell Johnson and Dennis Lilly, maybe Merv Hughes, modelled themselves on him. He was Australia's greatest fast bowler in the late 1800s. And in 1882, he enabled Australia to do something they'd never done before. Beat England in England. We'd won a couple of matches out here, but we could never beat England at home. They were unbeatable. And in 1882, low scoring game, England only needed 85 runs to win the match in the last innings. 85. They just nearly chased down 370 or what it was. So 85 is not a very big total. Fred bowled them out for 77. He took 7 wickets in the first innings, 7 wickets in the second innings, 14 for the match. And shockingly, to everybody concerned, England lost by 7 runs. And the shock was palpable. But it's what happened after that that's really significant. A couple of days later, a death notice appeared in a sporting newspaper, and it said English cricket has died at the Oval. The body will be cremated and the ashes sent to Australia. This matches the birth of the idea of the Ashes. And the Ashes is the body of English cricket that died that day, unexpectedly, and symbolically cremated, and the Ashes brought out to Australia. Now there's no little urn, no actual ashes, it's just an idea, a joke in the newspaper. Yeah. But it all began with this match. So where did the little urn come from? Well, England came back to Australia a year or two later, and the English captain Ivo Blythe famously said, "I'm going to Australia to reclaim our ashes," symbolically. And he won the series, 2-1. An Australian woman who fancied the English captain, she was single, he was single, and what better way to meet the English captain than come up to him and say, "Mr. Bligh, you've won back the ashes, we better give them to you." I don't know what he expected, but she gave him a gift. A little perfume jar, shaped like a Grecian urn, that she bought as a souvenir on a holiday. She tipped out the perfume, some ashes were put in it from a burnt bale, and she gave that to the captain. That's it. You know what I'm talking about? That's the little urn. It's actually a lady's perfume jar from a handbag. It was her personal gift to him so she could have an introduction to the captain. And that might have been the end of it, except he accepted the gift, then he looked into her eyes, and guess what happened? They fell in love. The Ashes is actually a love story. The English captain and the Australian woman got married, and he and she and that little urn went back to London, and the rest is history. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's the Australian version of the story anyway. That's the way we understand it. They kept that as a personal possession for years on their mantelpiece, and then when he passed away, she surrendered that little urn to the MCC at Lord's, and that's where it is still today. And that's what we play for every time we come up against each other. So someone kept the story going long enough until it became the tradition that we have today. But it all started with a cricket match. But if we get agitated this summer, just remember, we're just playing for a perfume jar. Admiral was getting too many runs, and so to cut him down to size, England in 1932-33 came with a tactic they called fast leg theory, or direct attack bowling. Stack your team with fast bowlers, a bit like the West Indies of the 80s. Bowl every ball short if you can, short, sharp, and aim for the unprotected upper body. No helmets, no arm guards, no chest guards, not even a thigh pad for a lot of the batters. Had those Aussie batters hopping around all over the place, ducking and weaving, and move all your fielders from the offside and put them on the leg side, called the leg trap. So I'm a right-handed batsman. If I was facing bodyline, every ball would be bending my back one way or the other. Now I can duck all day, but I'm not scoring runs. I can let the ball hit me, I'll get a bruise, but I'm not scoring a run. The usual shot to play is the hook or pull, but instead of 3 fielders out there, there's 7, 8, 9 fielders out there. You can't do that today, but in those days, perfectly legal, no limits. Every ball short, every fielder over there, and so you start to make the batters do some crazy stuff to try and score runs. And that's how they get out, that's how they get caught. They can't run because there's so many fielders stopping the ball. And it worked. This was the series where Bradman, the last Ashes series, his average was 139. This Ashes series on his home ground, 56. He couldn't get on top of it either. He was the best of the lot. But England went on to win the series 4-1 and absolutely crushed Australia. And it was legal, it was effective, but it was very controversial. There was fractured skulls, cracked sternums, broken fingers, bruises galore. And the Aussies weren't allowed to give it back because they'd already made the stance that it was wrong. The Australian captain said there are 2 teams out there and only one of them is playing cricket. And he couldn't go back on his word and do the same thing back to them, though he would have been allowed to, but he chose not to. So Australia got pretty well humbled in that series, and they changed the rules not long afterwards. It's important because bodyline shaped the future of cricket. What you can and can't do, spirit of cricket, rules of cricket, how that works. It also gave us something to talk about. They're still writing books about bodyline. It's so fascinating. One of the heroes of bodyline, of course, most of them were English heroes, but occasionally a star will be born, and the star for us was this guy, 22-year-old Stan McCabe, made a name for himself. The first bodyline test match was here at Sydney, and Bradman was not available. Stan was batting number 5. He actually said to his mum and dad in the crowd, he said to his dad, "Dad, if they hit me, stop Mum from jumping the fence and chasing the English." So he knew what was coming. As he walked out to the middle of the SCG, he decided the best form of defence is attack. They're going to hit me, so I'm going to hit them, and we'll see what happens. Now, the other night I saw Ben Duckett take 3 fours off the first over of an innings. Opening batsmen didn't used to play like that. And no batsman used to play like that. They used to play themselves in. That's how McCabe batted. He came out and just started, not slogging, playing proper cricket strokes right from the outset, and he just didn't stop. When he came off the field, he was 187 not out, 25 fours against bodyline and against the leg trap. It's still considered one of the most breathtaking hundreds of all time, given the circumstances and the lack of protection that he had. He got a standing ovation all the way off the field. You know what he said when he came in? He said, "I was lucky out there. I'm not sure I could do that again and get away with it." And he couldn't. He couldn't do it again. But he did it once, and he gets a statue at the SCG, something that Bradman doesn't have.
ஸ்டேடியம் உள்ளே போகிறோம். லைட்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்களா? ஸோ இங்கே தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு டே அண்ட் நைட் மேட்சே நடந்திருக்கு. அதான் அவர் சொன்னார். Are you enjoying? எவ்வளோ இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல, நமக்கு தெரியாத விஷயங்கள்.
Knox County fan, that's Harold Larwood's blazer, Knox County blazer from the 1920s. So 100 years old. And the letter that he wrote explaining why he wanted it at the SCG, because he was living just down the road. This was his new home. And he thought that we wouldn't like him when he came out here after what he'd done. And we embraced him with open arms. And he became very popular. So that's Harold Larwood's favourite blazer there. Possibly the greatest all-round player of all time, Gary Sobers, West Indian blazer. You might remember we had the 1960-61 Tide Test series, the first Tide Test. It was up in Brisbane, but the series was played. That was Gary Sobers' blazer for that. And then Bobby Simpson, 2 tours to South Africa in the 1960s. Once as a player, then as a captain. And you'll see the captain gets a thicker gold braid just to prove he's the boss. And of course this was very significant because Australia only toured South Africa one more time and then they got banned. And they were supposed to come here in 1970-71 and we'd already had massive riots here about the South African Springbok rugby team coming here because of apartheid. And so with all of that, the South African team got banned from international cricket.
இதுதான் வந்து ப்ரெஸ் ரூம். ப்ரெஸ் கான்ஃபரன்ஸில் இங்கே தான் முடிஞ்சோன்னு பேசுவாங்களாம். Sydney ground. First test match, Sydney Cricket Ground, June 6, 1932.
And look at the crowd number, 70,000. Oh. Our ground record is 78,000. Our current capacity, 48,000. That's a big difference, isn't it? Is the SCG
short film போட்டாங்க இந்த கிரவுண்டை பற்றி.
Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Kia ora, or as we say here in Australia, g'day mate. Welcome to your Sydney Cricket Ground tour. So many of Australia's greatest sporting moments have happened right here at the SCG. This truly is Australia's most historically significant sporting precinct, playing host to our nation's most loved sports and biggest teams. It's been Sydney's favourite playground since its establishment in 1851. Formed by the soldiers of the nearby Victoria Barracks for recreational purposes, the Sydney Cricket Ground is Australia's most revered arena and is instantly recognised around the world. There are few, if any, sports grounds on earth where old world charm blends so seamlessly with the modern, world-class comfort experience at the SCG. Test match cricket was first played here in 1882, and the Members Pavilion rose 4 years later, joined by the Ladies Pavilion in 1896. They've watched over every single sporting moment since and are New South Wales icons that predate the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It's been the home of New South Wales cricket since 1875, and the youngsters from this state have long dreamt of being the next Victor Trumper, Steve Waugh, Belinda Clark or Elise Perry.
SCG is special because of the memories, because of the history, because of the tradition. For me, it's about recognising history and the cricketers that have walked on the field, and you're out there following their footsteps.
The SCG is a place where your dreams.
அப்படியே ஸ்டேடியம் பார்க்க போயிட்டுருக்கோம். தேங்க்யூ சார். அப்படியே உள்ளே போயிட்டுருக்கோம், கிரவுண்டுக்குள்ளே போகிறோம். ஸ்டோரிஸ்லாம் எக்ஸ்ட்ராடினரியாக இருக்குது. நம்ம சொல்கிற ஸ்டோரிஸ் எல்லாம் அவ்வளோ விஷயத்தை ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி அவ்வளோ டீட்டெயில்டாக அந்த ஹிஸ்ட்ரி வச்சுருக்காங்க. கிரிக்கெட் ஸ்டேடியத்தை பற்றின எல்லா விஷயமும். வெல்கம் டு சிட்னி கிரிக்கெட் கிரவுண்ட். செம்ம ப்ரீஸியாக இருக்குல்ல. வாவ், பேனராமிக் வியூ மேலேருந்து கிரவுண்டு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது. வாவ், அந்த ஹிஸ்டாரிக் இது, இந்த பழைய ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸு, அப்படியே மீதி எல்லாம் ரெனோவேட் பண்ண ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸு. பெரிய கிரவுண்டு, 48,000 சொல்கிறாரு. பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது. பிச் ரெடி பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ இந்த கிரவுண்டில் எப்படின்னா இந்த ரக்பி அதுவும் ஆடுவாங்க, அந்த ஃபுட்பாலும் ஆடுவாங்க, கிரிக்கெட்டும் ஆடுவாங்களாம். அதே மாதிரி இது ட்ராப் இன் பிச் கிடையாது. இது ஒரு வாட்டி இவங்க விளையாடி முடிச்சோடனே அந்த பிச்சை ரெடி பண்ணுறாங்க. அதனால் மற்ற கிரவுண்ட்ஸ் மாதிரி மெல்பர்ன் மாதிரி இது ட்ராப் இன் பிச் கிடையாதுன்னு சொல்கிறாரு அவர். அதனால தான் இது ஸ்பின் ஆகுது. ஆஃப்டர் 3rd day 4th day ஸ்லோ ஆகிட்டு பால் ட்ரை ஆகி ஸ்பின் ஆக ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. இது ரிச்சி பேனரோட மீடியா சென்டர்.
But he was Australian captain once upon a time and a great all-rounder. He was the first Test player to ever reach 200 Test wickets and 2,000 Test runs. In fact, he's probably our best leg spinner until another one.
Media center. Wow. Wow. எப்படி இருக்குல்ல, சூப்பராக. மீடியா சென்டர் தான் பெஸ்ட்டு. என்ன வியூ பாருங்கள். கமெண்டேட்டர்ஸ்க்கு தான் இருக்கிறேன் பெஸ்ட் வியூ. இவ்வளோ பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்குல்ல இங்கேருந்து பார்க்க. மீடியா பாக்ஸில் இருந்து நோ பால் எல்லாமே இங்கேருந்து தான் சொல்லுவாங்க போல இருக்கு. ஸ்கோரர் இங்கே தான் இருப்பாங்க. மேலே டிவியெல்லாம் இருக்கு பாருங்க. இப்போ கமெண்டேட்டர் ஏரியாவுக்கு போகிறோம்.
Here's some good commentary in there now.
ஓகே, இங்கே உட்காந்தா கமெண்ட்ரி சொல்லுவாங்க. ஹாப்பி பார்த்தீங்களா?
So all this Hawkeye technology is just for football. As is this front desk over here. This is for a very low level live streaming commentary on the football games. That's why it's so basic looking. The cricket season though, this is the best
commentary area.
You're right behind the Test wicket, right on the centre here. And if you're watching on TV, what would you see? You would see this front section. And Isha Gua and Mark Waugh and Mike Hussey would be sitting here on 3 seats with headsets on, and you wouldn't see all of this. How do they hide that? They build a wall here. They put a temporary wall along here and around there, and that's all you see, them in front of that wall. You don't see the producer and the statistician and the technician.
ஒரு வால் பில் பண்ணுறாங்கன்றாரு.
It was a radio box.
அதனால கமெண்டேட்டர்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் நமக்கு தெரியுவாங்க.
TV box, they've got a remote camera in that corner, and so they've got to make sure.
I love you. Straight view.
It's just the front. Just killed the magical TV.
One of the oldest photograph of this cricket ground. கீழே வந்திருக்கோம், கிரவுண்ட் ஸ்டாண்டுக்கு வந்திருக்கோம். நல்ல குளிர் இன்னைக்கு, பயங்கர விண்டியாக வேறு இருக்குங்க. ஸோ அந்த பெவிலியன்லாம் பார்க்கறதுக்காக போயிட்டுருக்கோம். நிறைய இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஃபேக்ட்ஸ்லாம் இருக்குது அவர் சொல்கிறதுல. பயங்கர கிரிக்கெட் இந்த கைடு வந்து பயங்கர நாலேஜபிள் பர்சனாக இருக்கார். எல்லா விஷயமும் தெரியுது, A to Z தெரியுது அவருக்கு. எல்லா டீமை பற்றி, எல்லா சீரீஸை பற்றி, யார் எங்கே பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணாங்க, யார் எந்த விக்கெட் எடுத்தாங்க, அது வரைக்கும் தெரியுது அவருக்கு. அந்த ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் ஸ்டாண்ட் பெவிலியன். ஆமாம், பிரைன் அண்ட் சச்சின் டெண்டுல்கர் கேட்டுன்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது, அதுக்கு தான் போகிறோம். பா, செம்ம கோல்டாக இருக்குது. இல்லை, எனக்கு ஃபேஸ் மட்டும்தான் குளிருது, ஃபேஸ் மட்டும்தான் சில்லுன்னு இருக்குது எனக்கு. இது இல்லை உடம்புல ஒன்று. வா, தெரியுதா? இது கிரவுண்ட் வந்து எப்போவுமே ஸ்லோப்பாக இருக்கும், அதுக்கு தெரியுது பாரு. இங்கேருந்து நின்னோடனே தெரியுது. Wow.
Just don't get down and kiss it, that's great. And you'll see how it's all vertical and clumpy.
தெரியுதா? ஒரு ஸ்லோப் இருக்கு, இப்போ தெரியுதா?
With the name behind you. I know it's
Wow.
been a world that's put the name up on the top of the board or just even the field itself. And you'd like a prop. I've got a cricket ball here that you can hold, just to make it look official. So any family group.
ஸோ இதுதான் வந்து உள்ளே வந்திருக்கோம் இப்போ நாங்கள் கிரவுண்டுக்குள்ளே. இது வந்து மெம்பர்ஸ் பெவிலியன். பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது நேரில் பார்க்குறதுக்கு. எனக்கு கேமரா விட நேரில் அவ்வளோ இந்த ஆர்கிடெக்சர் வந்து, இந்த பழைய காலத்து ஆர்கிடெக்சர் எவ்வளோ அழகாக இருக்குது தெரியுமா அந்த இடம். தீபாமா வாங்க, தீபா வாங்க உட்காருங்க இங்கே. இது வந்து சச்சின் டெண்டுல்கர் அண்ட் பிரைன் லாரா கேட்ஸ். யா,
Sorry I took so long. I just kept on walking. So we don't walk through our members like they do at Lords, but we do walk beside them.
ஏன் பத்தம் பற்றி ஒரு ஸ்டோரி சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காரு. அவர் கிண்டல் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க மெம்பர்ஸ். அவர் வந்து ஸ்கோர் பண்ணிட்டு போயிருக்காரு.
Test 100 here for the West Indies and turned it into 277. One of the great innings of all times. Brian loved this ground so much, you know what he did? He named his first baby girl Sydney after the ground. We're just glad he didn't get the double 100 in the Waugh. And Sachin Tendulkar called this his favourite ground anywhere in the world. He has the highest test average on this ground, 157. He used to run down here with a smile on his face. He couldn't wait to bat against the Aussies here. So you're walking the way of champions now. Come up and we'll go into the visitors' chamber.
Wow. It's in honor of Sachin Tendulkar and Brian Lara, and he used to access the field by visiting cricketers at SCG. Where Tendulkaroda, Laraoda records mention பண்ணிருக்காங்க. உள்ள போறோம். மெம்பர் ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸு பெவிலியனுக்குள்ளே போகிறோம். ப்ரௌன் சீட்ஸில் வந்து ஒன்லி மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் உட்கார முடியும். மற்ற இடத்துல தான் நம்மளால் சீட்ஸ் புக் பண்ண முடியும். இது ஒன்லி மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் எல்லோரும் உள்ளே வருவாங்க. பெவிலியன்
Library downstairs. Up Upstairs there's more seating, and in the old days there used to be billiard rooms, cigar rooms and business rooms. It was a man's gentleman's sports club in 1886 because ladies weren't members, so it was built for men. It was only later that ladies were allowed to come in as guests, but they built the ladies stand for the ladies to sit over there. It took until 1974 before ladies were given full membership and could come into this stand as proper members. So again, slow to change, but we're still very lucky to have it. The ambience of this room is something else.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a seat out there, you can just sit here at the window and
Just watch. Yeah.
just watch and spend the day.
எப்படி இருக்கு பாருங்க, இங்கே உட்காந்து இங்கேருந்து இந்த பார்ல இருந்து வாங்கி
Come down here, I'll
குடிச்சிக்கிட்டு
show you the home room first of all.
அப்படியே அப்படி
Back
இங்கே
when
மேட்சை
they
பார்க்க
built this,
முடியும்.
home ground advantage was a real thing. The home team had the home ground, the home pitch, the home umpires, the home crowd, and the home room. This room is a lot bigger than what the visitors get. I have to be honest.
Home team dressing room.
And just come in and look at some of the names on these
எல்லா
walls.
நேம்ஸ் இருக்கு.
These are all the great
Bowling last
players
நம்ம
who've played
2024
Test cricket.
மேட்ச்சில் அடித்த 6 for 45.
Scored 100,
Bowl
taken 5 wickets.
பெஸ்ட் bowling ஃபிகர் வாங்கியிருந்தாங்க. bowling ஃபிகர்ஸ் இருக்கு 6 for 45.
Keep coming in, guys. Just let the others come in.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember I said about names from the old scoreboard? So we might remember Alan Davison, great left-arm bowler for Australia. That's his name plate from the old scoreboard. As was the Bradman one outside. Now you know one of the bizarrest quirks of history at this ground is that one of our greatest bowlers ever, Dennis Lilly, never got 5 wickets here. So you won't find Dennis Lilly's name on the bowling board, but you will find Alan Border and Simon Kadich. Border and Kadich are batsmen. Border got 7 wickets once against the West Indies and Kadich got 6. So some of the greatest miss out and some of the part-timers get in. But Shane Warne has the most wickets. Stuart McGill has the most fifers. His name's up there the most. And in terms of batting, Ricky Ponting has 600 here. So he's the most prolific name, even more than Bradman. Quite a lot of
இது batting record or the bowling record on the side?
Ponting has 6. So he stands out. So this is where the Aussies have their lunch and their afternoon tea. We don't have a separate dining
எல்லா
room.
பேரும் இருக்கு.
So the food
நம்ம
comes there,
டென்கரோட பேர் இருக்கா?
food warmers, chilled food there, and they eat here. And the visiting team eat in their own room down there. They can watch the game from here, or they can sit out on the balcony. Right next to the windows there and watch the game from out there. So the home teams
ஓகே,
are
இது இங்கே வந்து ஹோம் டீமோட ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கும் போல இருக்கு. இங்கே வந்து விசிட்டிங் டீம் இருக்காது, ஒன்லி ஹோம் டீம். அதான் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன் நான். ஹோம் டீமோட சேஞ்ச் ரூம். வாவ்.
You can't make a comparison yet, but believe me, the visitors' room would fit in this section just here.
So small.
And the home team gets all of this in addition.
ஹோம் டீமோட பாரு, இங்கே வந்து நார்மலாக பிளேயர்ஸோட நேம்ஸ் வரும், அவங்களோட இதுவெல்லாம் உள்ளே வச்சுக்கலாம். கிட்பாக் இங்கே தான் உட்காந்து ட்ரெஸ் மாற்றுவாங்க எல்லோரும்.
That's why his score sheet behind the wall, his picture,
ட்ரெஸ் ரூம் எல்லாமே இருக்கு பாருங்க.
and his quote is on the wall over there. That's Don Bradman's handwriting.
சிக்னேச்சர்
It says, "It's difficult. I'll do it now. It's impossible. I'll
ஆஃப்
do it."
கிரேட் கிரிக்கெட்டர்ஸ்.
Don Bradman.
சிக்னேச்சர்ஸ் ஆஃப் கிரேட் கிரிக்கெட்டர்ஸ்.
820.
வா,
This is very much the Bradman section over here. Most of our
பெரிய இடம்.
most youth clubs play 9 the same one that Bradman did. He's still a bit better. Even though I
அவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் பெரிய இடம், நம்ம டீமுக்கு ஹோம் டீம்லாம் மீன் விசிட்டிங் டீமுக்குலாம் ரொம்ப சின்ன சின்ன இடம். இங்கே உட்காந்து மேட்ச் பார்க்கலாம். டிவியில் வர மேட்ச்சு.
Bradman here.
இது வந்து
And in that group photo there, just to add to the
ஷேன் ஒன் கார்னரா, அங்கே தான் உட்காந்து ஷேன் ஒன் தம் அடிச்சுட்டு இருப்பான். எல்லாருக்கும் யாருக்கும் தெரியாமல் நல்ல அந்த இடத்தோட பேர் வந்து ஷேன் ஒன் கார்னர்னு வச்சுருக்காங்க.
originally a New South Wales boy, but that day playing for South Australia. So I can't believe it's been 11 years since that happened.
ஸ்கோர் கார்ட்ஸில்
the
இருக்கு.
naughty corner now is more of a corner of reflection.
நாட்டி கார்னர் அது பேர். ஷேன் ஒன் யூஸ் பண்ண கார்னர் இந்த கார்னர்.
If you're an Andy
Naughty
Simon
corner.
fan, you might know that he died in a car crash. He used to sit there with his good mate Matty Hayden. They were fishing.
ஆண்ட்ரூ சைமன்ஸ் இங்கே தான் எப்பவுமே உட்காருவாங்க.
Saw the biggest fish story over there.
நியூ சவுத் வேல்ஸ் or a team.
Scott Holland replaced by Sam Costas, the 19-year-old now, Mitchell Marsh in the middle, and Sean Abbott, the 12th man in the last test match. Now Sean was the guy who bowled the ball that hit Phil Hughes 11 years ago.
Yeah.
He's still playing. So poor guy, every time we have an anniversary here, every year, he's got to relive. He didn't do anything wrong, but he delivered the ball that struck Phil, so it's hard for him. And Nathan Lyon, Gary, the GOAT, greatest of all time, he's in that M1 there. Mike Hussey, over there. Stuart McGill, the spinner in the middle. Before the war and after the war.
More than 100 years old in the benches.
You know, going into the Benno years, the Chappells, Lillian Marsh, Tom,
Wow.
all those guys.
Eவ்வளவு பேரை
these
பார்த்திருக்கோம் அந்த
benches
bench.
and all
அதே
the
bench.
scratches around the edges, we presume have been thousands of cricket boots.
Yeah.
Been tied up and scratched off a bit of paint. So we keep telling the facility people, don't paint the benches. Because what happens in the change room needs to stay in the change room.
Yeah.
It's part of the story. So this is the home story. And I know this is enemy territory for many of you, but I get the vibe, the historic vibe of this room. Shall we go down and see the visitors' room now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello folks, how are you? You enjoying? Yeah. Did you see Satch in the seat? Pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good.
This is visitors change room. Yeah. Indian team Indian team photos சின்னதாக இருக்கு. அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த ரூம் சின்னதாக இருக்கு. அதை கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது ரெஸ்ட் ரூம்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு. இங்கே எவ்வளோ சின்னதாக இருக்கு. இல்லை எப்பவுமே வந்து இந்த வால்ஸ் எல்லாம் செக் பண்ணோம்.
Aren't we nice to our visitors? Tiny little room. There's nothing.
Next winter.
How cruel could we be? You know the excuse we use? Historic room.
Corner, McNary made
And that is true. We
first
can't
class
change it
wicket.
structurally. We could change the furniture. But
Moses
that's
Henry,
become part
hot
of
and
the
bold,
issue as well,
1999.
because Some of the players
Sorry,
actually ordered
99,
furniture.
hot and bold,
So if
99.
you're a Graham Swan fan, and when Sachin Tendulkar first played here for India, he was 18 years old. He was the baby of the team. He was the last player in the room. And guess what? The team gave him the worst seat in the room. Which one? That little one just over there. That's nicknamed the toilet seat. You sit there and you turn around, the view is not very good. And when the players come out from their showers, they drop their wet towels on you,
Yeah.
they flick you with water, and no player ever wanted to sit there. So they left that for Sachin, aged 18. He sat there, he padded up against Australia. He got 148 not out, aged 18. He came back in this room and he literally said, I like that seat. So on his next visit, where do you think he sat? Straight back there, 241 not out. He really liked the seat now. We followed that with 154 not out, or 53 not out. We couldn't get him out. What we should have got out was the seat. We never thought about that. And he was the one who became captain, and he said, I'm not sitting up there, the captain sits down here now, I'm not leaving.
உட்கார்ற இடமா. ஸோ இந்த இடத்தோட பேர் வந்து டாய்லெட் பெஞ்சுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ இங்கே உட்காந்து தான் அந்த ஃபேமஸ் 241லாம் அடித்தது சச்சின். ஒரு ஹிஸ்டாரிக் இடம். இது வந்து ஹானர்ஸ் போர்ட். யார் யார் என்னென்ன ஸ்கோர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க எல்லாமே இங்கே இருக்கும்.
So some people make it and some people don't. If you're from an Indian background, the first player playing for India to get on the board was Kapil Dev. But the first Indian name on the board is Prince Ranjit Singh.
புஜாரா பண்ட் சச்சின் டெண்டுல்கர் 154, சச்சின் டெண்டுல்கரோட 241 எல்லாமே இருக்கு.
And he was a Prince of India. India
The
didn't
ball
have a
is
team, so he played through.
blessed.
And they got 175. So these boards are like a history of Commonwealth. As teams
எப்படி இருந்து பாருங்க, இங்கேருந்து அப்படியே வெளியே
they got
தெரியுது.
their own cricket team and they started coming out under their own. Really been a pleasure to show you around. Don't feel you need to rush away. I'm going to go back and open up the museum. You're welcome to stay and look at that. You're welcome just to walk around here and get more photos if you like. Just don't go out on the field now. without me. But you can go down to the fence line or walk through the bar here. I'm going to make my way that way. And welcome to the table. Wherever it's right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good on you. Well done.
முடிச்சுட்டு வந்துட்டோம். இட் வாஸ் அ வெரி குட் டோ. சிட்னி கிரிக்கெட் ஸ்டேடியமை பார்த்து செம்ம என்ஜாய் பண்ணேன். நான் கூடவே ஒரு பேக்கி க்ரீன் கேப்பும் வாங்கிட்டேன். யார் வந்தாலும் இந்த இடத்துக்கு போகாமல் இருக்காதீங்க. சிட்னி கிரிக்கெட் கிரவுண்டை கண்டிப்பாக போய் அந்த டூர் பாருங்கள்.